Hi, thank you so much for joining my channel. I am so happy to have you here. Before we get into my latest and greatest video, I just wanted to ask a massive, big personal favor. So I love bringing content to you, and it fills my heart with so much joy knowing that it gives you value and gives you insight, and you're able to create beautiful, amazing costumes or clothing with either my patterns, my free tutorials, or even just my fabric hauls. I would love it if you hit the subscribe button, the like button, comment or shared my video. That would mean the world to me, because then I know that I'm reaching you, and it literally just, it really helps me go a little bit further and give more. And I've got so many plans to give more. I just want to know that it's what you need. So if you do need more from me, please hit the subscribe, the like, make a beautiful comment, and I will do everything in my power to bring great value content to you. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Have a beautiful day and enjoy the video. Hello and welcome. I am so thrilled that you are here. I have got so much to share with you about sequin fabric. It's literally, I just want you to know, don't buy sequin fabric until you have watched this video, because there is such a huge difference in the type of sequins, the fabric that it's on, and what you sew it with, like all the needles that you need. And yeah, so let's just dive in slowly. The first thing that I'm going to start with is what everyone asks me all the time, because this is like the number one question I get when people are making their sequin leotards is, should I choose sequin mesh or sequin spandex? Because I mean, they're both absolutely gorgeous in their own right, but there are a few things that you need to know about both, and this is what I'm going to share with you right now. So let me get some of the material. So this is a gorgeous sequin mesh, and as you can see through it, and you can probably hear my cat in the background. I am so sorry. He wants to come to the party. Yeah, it's just very vocal today. So this is a sequin mesh, and as you can see through it. So it's quite meshy, and as you can see that the main fabric that this sequin is on is actually this mesh, and you can see through me. And then you've got the sequin. It's made by a machine, and as you can see on the reverse, it's got all these squiggly lines because it was made by a machine. And it is absolutely beautiful underneath the stage lights. I love this mesh in particular because it's got a really good stretch for the leotards that I make, and it's got a really beautiful stretch for the body. The length has got about a 5% stretch, and yeah, this is perfect for the leotards that I make, because I would always put like a nude backing on this one so you can't actually see through. And also, to be honest, you want a nude backing on that because you want softness on your skin. So you can also get this material that doesn't have any stretch, and that's the sequin mesh we don't want to work with. I actually don't have any in my studio because it's not ideal for what I make and what I teach. So I teach how to make costume wear with sequins. Isn't it gorgeous? So this is perfect for leotards, like little triangle bikinis, little bikini bottoms with the string on them, and oh, it's just gorgeous. So, and as you can see, it crumples up quite easily. It's quite a soft sequin because the actual sequins themselves is probably like a 3mm diameter sequin. So it's fine to use with the sewing machine, and I will go through needles with you very shortly. But this is the mesh fabric. So beautiful. Okay, so moving on to two types of lycras. Okay, this is so beautiful. What I'm about to show you, the color is, okay, here we go. Oh my God, look at it. I have made a leotard in this color before, and it was spectacular underneath the stage lights, because the different kind of stage lights that she had some reds and some blues, and this came alive in just a multitude colors of a whole heap of purples and blues. This is a fabric that I got from America, and I will link it below. Look at the stretch. Look at that stretch. It's super stretchy, super bouncy. It's a lot thicker than the mesh that I showed you. And as you can see that it's not see-through, and it's got more of a kind of a lycra feel to it. And the actual material that the sequins are made on is actually this lycra. So it is proper spandex material, super stretchy this way, super stretchy that way, and it gives the, oh my God, stretch. Stretch. I love this fabric. This is a lot thicker than the mesh though, and I do still put a lining on this, and my lining is 145 GSM, so it is still quite thick, okay, once you put the two materials together, because I line front and back for my dancers. So still beautiful. It is not going to pull a hole in it, unlike if you are using a mesh sequin and your dancer is, say, rolling around on floorboards that maybe have like a lift in the floorboard. If it gets caught on this, it may cause a little rip or something like that. It's never happened to any of my dancers. Oh my God, touch wood. Yeah, so they're the things to keep in mind. This is super easy to work with. The sequins on this are about 3mm in diameter, really easy to work with. And then there's another type of lycra or spandex. We'll say spandex because copyright, you know. This is another one, and it's not see-through, but I can still see the light through it, but you can't make out what's behind it. So it's not technically see-through, but you can see it's got a really beautiful stretch, but the spandex is a lot thinner. And as you can see, if I pull the spandex, you can kind of see my face through it. So it is on the thinner side as opposed to the full version of this spandex. Okay, you can't really see my face outline through this one. So look, I just dropped that. So it's this one's really beautiful to work with. The sequins on this are 3mm. I would go up to 4mm in a safe way to be able to sew your sewing machine directly on top of this material. And there is one other sequin material that I would like to show you, and this is one of the most popular asked for fabrics, and she's a lot of hard work. This sequin fabric is absolutely gorgeous. She looks like mermaid skin. Like if you were a mermaid, this is the material you would want. And as you can see, she's on a mesh. It's not a very stretchy mesh. I would say it's 5% stretch, and the other two are probably 15% stretch. So this one is, she's got it and she looks beautiful, but the hard work that you need to actually do to bring this one to life, because the sequins on this are actually 6 millimeters in diameter. So I'm not quite sure if you can actually see how big those beautiful sequins are. So what I usually do is I cut out my pattern with my sequin scissors, and I cut out the material. And then once I've cut this material out in the shape of the actual design, I will then go around and hand pick all of these sequins out to create my hemming channel. So this one is a lot of hard work, and it's super popular, and it can take up to like 30 hours just to prep this material to be sewn. So you really gotta really love what you're doing and love the creation that you're bringing to life as well, because it is a labor of love. Okay, so anything larger than say 4 millimeters in diameter, I would say hand pick them off. Put on a good podcast, put on a good road trip album or something like that, and just go for gold. I actually listen to audiobooks, so I feel like I'm actually getting my book time in as well as my creation and orders in as well. So if you do use anything that's over 4 millimeters in diameter with the sequins, make sure that you unpick. So the amount that you will have to pick will be depending on how much your seam is. So in all of my leotards, the seam allowance is 1/4 inch. So I would probably go 1/4 inch or maybe 1/2 inch of a channel just to pick off all those sequins, and then I would go in there and put a backing on it because it is rather see-through, and you want it to be comfortable, because as you can see on the reverse, you don't want all of those large sequins rubbing up against your skin or anything like that. So always line it, and then you'd have to pick all the sequins off for all the way around your leotard, and then you would put your lining and sew your lining, and then yeah, you can always, if you want to know how to do this, you can always go to my Leotard Wardrobe Vault, which is where I teach you how to make sequin leotards. So all the patterns are in there. I go through like cutting steps and everything like that, just for your beautiful sequin fabric to look amazing on stage. Okay, so now machine safety. Okay, so machine safety with these babies, I would say the really important thing is to make sure that you use a very, very, very sharp needle. Okay, so I use where is it? Do I have it here? Let me have a look. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Yes, so the needles that I love using are the organ needles. I find them the best ones, and I don't have my glasses on, but I'm sure that says 11/75. I use that when I'm sewing all my stretch leotards, and I use these when I'm sewing my sequins as well, because they're super sharp and I hardly get any breakages from these ones as well. I have tried other brands and they've been great, but they just break really easily, whereas these ones are just amazing. So highly recommend getting this one if you want to sew spandex and if you want to sew sequins. So this is my go-to needle of choice. I wear glasses when I'm sewing, and I have had the odd occasion where a needle has broken and a sequin has flung up. I wear glasses because I need to be able to see my work up close in detail, but you can get sequins and stuff like that flying back into your face, so just be super careful. I've never heard of anything going wrong with anyone using sequins and it bounced into their eye or anything like that. I've never heard of it. I have had them fly into my hair when I've sewn, but it's fine. I think that it's all part of the process, and it's kind of like confetti coming at you, but it only comes at you in like maybe once every blue moon, so don't let this put you off. So they're like the main fabrics that I would use, and I think really it just boils down to what you want to go with. And I always suggest when you're working with, say you're brand new to sequins, always patch test, patch test with your needle, patch test with your sewing machine, patch test with everything that you can get your hands on before you actually make your leotard or make your costume. Because I think that the most important thing is to know that even though they are beautiful and you can make absolutely gorgeous garments out of them, every single sequin fabric has its own personality, and this personality with the mesh, let's just say she needs a partner, she needs a lining. If she doesn't have lining, she's going to carry on and she's just going to bucker, and she's just going to just be really not cooperative, and you're not going to get a nice garment out of it anyway. So she's really going to put her foot down unless you put some lining underneath this one. That goes with all of them. I wouldn't not put lining underneath them because they need a partner. Now, when I say that though, this one, which I'm actually going to turn into a jacket very soon, I'm so excited. This one can get away with it. If I'm making a jacket, I think that there will be a little bit of lining throughout the jacket. And it definitely needs to be lined for making a leotard. So yeah, I think that if you're going to make sequin costumes, line them, because not only will it be more comfortable, but you will find that your costumes last longer with sequin being lined. And I always line my sequin fabric with swimwear lining. So something I find really useful is swimwear lining. I don't go for the super sheer swimwear lining. I always make sure it's opaque and you can't see through it, and it's got a beautiful stretch. Now that reminds me of the leotards, that if my lining is not as stretchy as the sequin fabric, then it's going to make the length in the body shorter. If my lining is stretchier than the sequin fabric, then the sequin fabric will be allowed to go to the maximum stretch. So whatever you line your costumes with, whether it's a sequin fabric or not, or it's a shimmer fabric, make sure that the lining is stretchier than the actual main fabric. That will mean that all leotards will stretch beautifully lengthways and widthways, and you'll find yourself more comfortable, or your clients more comfortable, to dance in something like that. So they're my key takeaways. And if you've ever feared breaking your machine on sequins, don't worry about that, because you're going to. No, I'm only joking. You'll probably just break your needle every now and then, but you won't break your sewing machine. Your sewing machine is going to be completely intact, but I do recommend servicing your sewing machine, and if you use a serger, definitely servicing that as well. So you can usually tell when it needs a good service. It doesn't really cooperate, but I think you should just give sequins a go. And if you need some confidence in sewing sequins, I highly recommend heading to my link in bio and signing up to the Leotard Wardrobe Vault. In there are 7 leotards and 7 patterns and 7 directions, all ready to be made with sequin material. I also do teach how to use spandex material as well, but let's face it, sequins under stage lights is a dream come true. And I think that, I mean, how could you not? So yeah, go for gold. If sequins is not your jam and you're looking to make something not with sequins, also still go to the link in bio. You can also get yourself a free copy of the Lily crop. It's a reversible crop. It's got a signature energy all the way through it. So head on to the link in bio. You can go to the free Lily crop link and just sign up for the email updates, and then you will receive your pattern and a free tutorial to teach you how to make that as well. So I hope you have enjoyed this content. Please remember, for me to produce more amazing content, I just need a like, a follow, and a subscribe. That lets me know that what I'm producing is something valuable for you and helps you learn, and it helps you create amazing things, not just for yourself, but for your clients as well. So please give me a like, a follow, and a share, and I will see you on the other side. Thank you so much for watching. Also, stay tuned. The next video that is coming shortly is about my fabric haul in France and my fabric haul in Italy. Oh my God. Until then, stay creative.